Another type of function for character string is strcmp or strcmpi. Okay, strcmp or strcmpi. Okay, strcmp means string compare. So lexicographically, it compares two null-terminated string. So for this related functions, we are going to make use of the comparison operators such as less than, greater than, and equals to or is equals to. Then we're pertaining to 0. 0 is the null-terminated value or the backslash 0. Okay, until we reach the last position, we're going to compare the string character per character. So take note, ha, class, that comparison or comparing string values are starting with the first position. We compare it character by character down to the last position. So let's have an example. So let's say, for example, I initialize the value of str1 with the word hello. Okay, and then the other one is also declared as hello. Okay, so if you're going to take a look at the word of str1 or the string in str1 and the string of str2, they are both the same. But take note, okay, the compiler of C++ still, okay, referred to the ASCII value. So that means since this is all in lowercase format, so they are all in the same value. But for example, if I'm going to make this as capital letters, remember that the ASCII value of a single character H or capital H is not the same thing as the capital letter H or the small letter value of H. So now, let's just put this one again to a small letter. How are we going to compare? So let's use if. And then we are going to use strcmp first. And then parentheses within the strcmp, comma, and then I'm going to test whether the value of str1 and str2 are the same. So I'm going to use is equals to 0. Okay? Then, what should be the parameters within the strcmp? Okay? The parameters will be the variable that we're going to compare. What are those? str1 and str2. You may actually put the first position str2 or the first parameter to str2 and assign the second parameter to str1. So whatever comes first, it will just compare the value if it's both equal. So let's just display equal if it's equal, otherwise not equal. Okay, then let's run the code. Sorry, not comma. Is equal, no comma. Okay, so, sorry. Let's omit this portion. And then let's run again the code. So the output should be equal because the first character up to the last character are all the same values. Now, what if, ma'am? What if I change the value of H here? So what will be the output? The output now is not equal because the first position from the str1 is not the same character as the value or the first position of str2. Although they are both H, but in the ASCII value, they are not the same value. Okay? So H is much lower than small h. Remember that all small letters are greater than the values of the capital letter. So this one is not equal. Okay? Now, what if, ma'am, they are the same? But for example, here, I put capital L. So again, compiler will then test. The first position is the same. So let's ignore. Second position is the same, ignore. Third position is the same, ignore. But on the fourth position or position 3, they are not the same. So again, it will display not equal. Clear po? Let's run the code. Not equal. Okay, let's change this. So to less than. Okay? So let's have this as true and this one is false. Okay, so this time we are pertaining to a value of str1 is less than the value of str2. So if we're going to compare the value of str1, this is the value of str1, is str1 less than the value of str2. So again, the first position are the same as well as the second and the third. So the fourth position, this one is small and this one is capital. So str1 is less than str2. So the answer is false because str1 contains small letter which is in ASCII value that's greater than the value of the capital L. So that becomes false. So let's run the code. So false. But if we're going to change the value, this becomes small letter L and this one is capital L, then the value now becomes true. Okay, so let's change this again to is equals to 0. What if I'm going to make use of the strcmpi? I just add the letter I from the syntax strcmp. I means ignore the capitalization. So this means that regardless of what character you use, it's either a lowercase or an uppercase form, but they are both the same word, it's still considered as the same. Okay? That means in this case, str1 is equals to str2, and then we use the I, the output is not false. That becomes, the output should be true. Why? Again, if we have I, it will ignore the capitalization. So in this case, if I'm going to run and execute the program, hello is equals to hello, the answer is true. Let's run the code. So true. So again, I is ignore the capitalization of the characters. So that means regardless whether we declare this as capital and this one is a small letter, and we have the I here, it will just ignore the capitalization and still the value of this is the same as str2. Another type of function for character string is strlen. In this case, we are actually counting the number of characters except the backslash 0. So let's say, for example, I have str1 assigned with HELLO. It counts the number, okay? If we are going to use strlen, we are going to get the size or the length of the string. So this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So backslash 0 is not actually counted, okay, if we're going to make use of the strlen. Okay? So we are just getting the length or the size of the declared values within the string. Okay? So let's try that. Going to change this. So how are we going to do that? Two options. You may use already cout and then strlen parentheses, and then we want to get the size of str1 semicolon. So this will display an integral value of 2, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Let's run the code. So 5. Okay. So we can actually add size of str1 is, and then strlen. Then run the code again. So the size of str1 is 5. So let's try. If I'm going to make use of Lawrence space Fuentes. So let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So if I'm going to run and execute the code, size of str1 is 14. Another option is I'm going to declare a variable which is size. Ay, wag size. Len na lang, len. Okay? Int len. And then, I'm going to declare here len, on top of it, len equals strlen parentheses str1. So in this case, I'm not going to display the strlen. Instead, I'm going to display the variable that I use to get the length of the string str1. So if I'm going to run and execute the code, size of str1 is 14. So the same but in different semantics or syntax.